Hello everyone, it's Dave here from SaveDex. Now, we've got some rather exciting news about Super Mario Maker 2, because we are getting an update coming very soon, and we're getting a few nice things with it. Firstly, a few new enemies. So we got Spike, who is a mainstay from the Mario series, and also Pokey. Now these are two characters that I think are long overdue for the game. They're iconic Mario enemies, and I can't believe they're not in it already. But the interesting thing about these two, I'm going to group these together, is they both are different in the snow theme. So when Spike is in the snow theme, instead of throwing a spiky ball, he throws a snowball, which you can then throw back at him. And Pokey is a snowman, so you can actually jump on his head, he's not spiky on top. And it's kind of interesting to see, because other than these two, I think the snow theme is just a cosmetic change, other than nighttime where it's slippery. So it's really nice to see that they're doing actual differences with the different themes now, and this just opens up a whole world of possibilities for what future updates could come. And to stick with this snowy theme, we're also getting the ice blocks with the coins inside from, I remember them in Mario 3, so that's very cool that that's coming. We're also getting dash blocks that are exclusive to Super Mario 3D World, and we're also getting these new kinds of blocks that P-switches activate, and they're unbreakable, and they're just extra kinds of challenges you can put into the levels. So that's all good stuff. I look forward to seeing what other people can do with these. I'm not much of a level creator myself, but I'm very excited to play these. But the main thing I want to talk about today, and that is the most exciting thing they're bringing to it, and that is a new item that's going to be exclusive to the Super Mario Brothers theme, and that is the Master Sword that turns you into Link. Now, it's not just a cosmetic change, like in the first Mario Maker with the amiibo costumes, because you can use the sword, the shield, the arrows and the bombs, which just opens up a whole world of possibilities for this game. And again, it's nice to see, because in the original you had all those amiibo costumes. I was really disappointed they weren't back, but now I fully understand why they're not back, because they're improving on this idea, not just cosmetic changes just for the kind of like an Easter egg, I suppose, that is just that character in the game. You're actually being the character, you're actually having their movesets, and this is going to be so awesome, I think. So it's got me thinking what the future holds for this, and what characters could they realistically add to Super Mario Maker 2 that you could actually play as. So I've come up with 5 that I think could be interesting. So the first one is, what if you had the Screw Attack as an item and that turned you into Samus? Now obviously Samus, you could have her Ice Beam as an item which can freeze enemies to make them into platforms, and you could also have the Screw Attack which could make her jump infinitely, and there's all sorts of things you could do, like you have the Grapple Beam, maybe, if that's not too complicated for NES theme. But even if you had her in the Super Mario World theme and had a 16-bit Samus with more possibilities there. But I think a really cool addition would be, if you turn into Samus, then Bowser should turn into Ridley, and it will just be a cosmetic change. Ridley can only sort of jump and breathe fire like Bowser does, but I think that would be a really cool Easter egg, so I think a Metroid theme would really fit in well. The next one I'd like to talk about is another obvious NES one, and that's Kirby. You could sort of suck up the enemies, and also some of them you could sort of get their powers, so like the Hammer Brothers, you could throw hammers if you've absorbed some of them, but if it's something like the Koopa Trooper, you could just spit out the shells. That would be pretty cool. And it'll also be interesting to see the Kirby costumes for the different enemies, kind of like Smash Brothers, the different hats, sort of like he could have the Hammer Brother helmet, or he could have sort of something to do with Spike so he can throw those spiky balls. The third one I'd like to talk about is Pokemon. So if a Pokeball came out and you got it, you turned into Pikachu, shot out electricity, do all that sort of thing. And the interesting thing about having the Pokemon is, what if you hold down and press B, you could switch between different Pokemon, maybe stick with Squirtle, Charmander and Bulbasaur, and maybe they can just mainly do the same thing, like like Charmander would shoot fire instead of electricity, Squirtle does water. They all sort of do the same basic thing, but it'd just be a cosmetic thing. Or maybe Bulbasaur could use Vine Whip to swing on ceilings or something like that. But I kind of feel like if they are opening out to more than just Pikachu, people will be requesting Pokemon left, right and centre. So maybe sticking to Pikachu as a nice little cosmetic change there. My fourth one, and this is very ambitious, but what if you had the Inklings? Like, you could have like the Splatter Shot or something as the power-up. You get that, you turn into an Inkling. Now, I think the NES might not work with this style, so what if it was exclusive to the 3D world style, and you could shoot ink up the walls and then jump into them? It's sort of like a different kind of wall jumping, I suppose, but you could have just a single wall, so you can just sort of slide up the wall. Or maybe there could be like ink you could put into certain parts of the levels, like as the creator, and you have to be the Inkling to swim through it. Something like that. Again, it's a very ambitious one, but I think they could make that work. And finally, I think Shulk could work if you had the Monado come out and you turn into Shulk. Now, this again, go to any theme could work with this one, but I think 8-bit's more likely what they'd do. But like in Smash Brothers, you could use the Monado to improve a certain stat, like make you jump higher, make you go faster, things like that. But ultimately, in Xenoblade Chronicles, Shulk's all about the foresight. You can see ahead into the future. So wouldn't that be cool if you could do that? Just maybe hold the button down and then you can scroll the camera to see further through the level to plan out your next move or something like that. I think that'd be a good way to implement Shulk's abilities there. So those were just the 5 I wanted to highlight. I wanted to get through this one quite quickly. I mean, I could go on all day about ideas. Like, I didn't want to list every Nintendo franchise, so I stuck to just 5 that could be possible. I didn't really want to go into third parties either, because I think if they were to do that, it would probably be paid DLC, because they'd need to get the rights from Sega if they were to put Sonic in there, for example. But having Sonic with his abilities in the game like this would be amazing, especially now we've got Slopes. So I think that or a Sonic Maker. So, you know, Sonic, Mega Man, they'd obviously translate well to this sort of game. But I wanted to stick with just the Nintendo characters, and there's just a whole wealth of them. Like, you know, you could have Fire Emblem characters, could have the power of having blue hair and Marth's moveset. You could have the Animal Crossing characters, could do whatever they do, and, you know, Waluigi could actually be playable in the game for once, who knows. But anyway, those are just my thoughts of it. I look forward to seeing what the community can come up with Link's moveset, and I think this is actually very, very good news for the game in general going forward. I mean, we could have a wealth of different franchises, a wealth of different gameplay styles, and we're seeing more enemies coming as well, which is just fantastic. So let's just see. Hopefully this Mario 2 theme will come. Maybe they can then have Peach as a character with the floating in the air. Maybe they'll put in the Peachette for Toadette to turn into. Who knows? So anyway, thank you for watching this video. What do you think of the update coming to Super Mario Maker 2? I'm obviously looking forward to it. What other ideas do you have for the future of Super Mario Maker 2? What other characters could they add? So let me know down in the comments below what ideas you've come up with, and thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, make sure you subscribe to see more from us in the future. So again, I'm Dave from SaveDecks, and I'll see you on Mario Maker 2 Online. Bye bye.